next is fashion tips. And while I was going through, today's features of the Daily Show, I spoke about modesty when it comes to female children. Sometimes you see some kids that are dressed, half dressed. They are babies. Yes, we know that. But you need to teach them modesty, because as children, whatever you inculcate in them is what they will, grow up to be in life. When as parents, guardians, elder siblings, you keep buying skimpy clothes for them and they get used to it, when they grow up, definitely they will buy skimpy clothes and wear those skimpy clothes. And we need to teach our female children that modesty is key, and you don't need to flaunt your body for you to look classy and cheeky. You can dress modestly and still look very, very beautiful. So we'll be looking at how to dress your female kids in a modest way. Enjoy. Today's episode of Fashion Tips, we've outlined 5 ways to help female children understand and acknowledge modesty in their daily lives. Number 1, talk about modesty as early as possible. Whatever the age of your daughter, you can and should talk to her about modesty. In fact, the younger you start, the more it will be a natural part of her thinking. On a basic level, teaching your daughter about appropriate clothing for different occasions. On the heart level, help her focus on others when she goes places, rather than hoping everyone notices her. And on a deeper level, explain that certain areas of her body are meant to stay private, and modesty implies you don't draw attention to those areas. At some point, you should discuss the beauty of Allah's design for sex and attraction in the context of marriage, and the corresponding implication that we should save alluring clothing choices for the confines of the marriage relationship. Number 2, be a good example. If you want your daughter to be modest, you have to set that example. Other influences will come and go, but you can be the faithful example she'll remember when she thinks of genuine godly beauty. With that, you might as well show her that modesty doesn't equal flumpy. She should see in you the obvious attractiveness of a woman who takes care of herself without purposely trying to draw attention to herself. Number 3, parents like you do in every other area. Oftentimes, moms of teens especially seem to be at a loss when it comes to their daughter's clothing. There can be so much working against a parent that it's tempting to just give up and let our girls wear whatever they want. But surely we know we can't give up on caring about their attitude or their behavior, yet the same is true of modesty. So just as you start your expectations in all other areas of life, and just as you follow through with appropriate consequences, do the same when they rebel against your clothing standards. If nothing else, explain that even if she doesn't think Allah cares about the clothing she wears, Allah cares that she obeys you. Number 4, be flexible at the right times. You don't want to be known for being a stickler just because you are a stickler. And you don't need to push your preferences in order to create a mini-me. Your standards should come from scriptures in the Holy Quran, which means you can allow for a little creativity if it fits within the holy book's parameters. Your daughter might even listen to you before she sees you only speak up when it really matters. Number 5, and lastly, remember Allah's commands. Remember, Allah's commands are good. Both us and our girls need to remember that Allah is not a killjoy. When God tells us to do something like dress modestly, it is good and right, and ultimately, it's in our best interest. So even when our daughters don't understand, let's remind them that they can trust God on the matter. He knows what He's doing, and obeying Him is always worth it.